Oh, hey everyone. I got a bit of a different one to show you today that I think you may be interested in. Today we'll be taking a look at the new Expo Arms 11.5 Patrol Series upper with the Chemo Muzzle Device. And then we can see if this thing's actually any good. All right though, let's get started. So today we're going to be looking at an upper from Expo Arms, and I don't think many people are actually familiar with that name or are intimately aware of the pure amount of secrets that are hidden under the hood of that upper. But as a bit of background, Expo Arms is a brand exclusively sold by Primary Arms that offers 100% American-made parts, backed by both a precision and build quality guarantee. And something that isn't really shared within the firearms community is that all the big companies use most of the same OEM parts because there's really only like 2 or 3 different companies that are actually manufacturing them. And the family of high-quality weapon systems that share the same family of parts you'll see today will really surprise you. And trust me, I'll go over all that in detail. And as we mentioned, the upper I'm going to show you today is that 11.5 Patrol Series. And we did get the option, as I said, with the cool little Chemo Muzzle Device too. I do kind of want to pause as we go through the review though, because there really is a lot to unpack with an 11.5 weapon system as to what it can and what it can't do. And there seems to be an unlimited amount of Reddit knowledge on how far an 11.5 can shoot and what its effective range is. And I'll be honest, I've run into both parties, like one party that says, oh, an 11.5, its only effective range is like 100 yards. And then you get the other group that says like, well, actually, that's like a 700-yard gun. I do that like every day. So in this review, let's take a look at what an 11.5 can actually do and give this Expo Arms upper a test of its merits at the same time. So today in this review, we'll take a look at the upper and all the different parts that make it up. And then I'll show you some other little secret Expo Arms parts that we use to finish out the build. And then we'll get Joe's help to head out to the range and dispel some myths from muzzle velocity and overall accuracy on an 11.5 system. And then we'll round out with the reliability of the Expo Arms upper. And then we'll do like normal and do our pros and cons and all that. All right, though, let's get this Expo Arms upper on the bench and let me show you everything it comes with. So here is our 11.5 Combat Series upper with our Chemo Muzzle Device that we got from Primary Arms. Looking first at the upper receiver, we see it's a quality construction with a very nice finish. Now it seems like the OEM for a lot of these is actually hidden, and that's a huge bonus for you as the customer. But if I get some of these wrong, just let me know down in the comments and I'll correct it. From what I can tell from what I read online though, that upper is actually made by Zev. And if you don't know who Zev is, I don't know what rock you're living under, but they make some pretty ridiculous high-end parts for Glocks and some other pistol builds. So right off the bat, you're getting a receiver from a pretty amazing company. The dust cover and forward assist all come installed, so you don't have to worry about installing any of that, even if their usefulness is moderately questionable. Moving further down, we see the M-LOK Handguard. As noted on the website, the handguard itself is 10.5 inches long, leaving a small bit for the 11.5-inch barrel to stick out. And this span gives you room for 5 M-LOK slots along with 6 different sections. And I really like every single slot being M-LOK, not just like the top sides and the bottom. When you put together an NVG setup, particularly on like a shorter pistol like this, it can get really packed up front and it gives you a lot more options to fit everything in. And sometimes you gotta get really creative when the handguard isn't designed that way. So who's the OEM for the handguard? So I took a moment to do a little bit of reading and some research, and it looks like that handguard is made by CMT, and they're actually known for some pretty amazing handguards. I even checked the barrel nut, and it's that same CMT style, so yeah, you can connect the dots how you want on that one, but I'm really digging that whole rail setup on this handguard. Moving into the barrel, this setup comes with the 11.5 barrel as mentioned earlier, but it's harder to show you all of the goodies without stripping it all down. Hopefully you can see past the receiver lugs here to see it also uses a chrome lined barrel. And I'm pretty impressed to see yet again, there's that next step up in terms of quality that really gives you a pretty awesome bang for the buck for the price of this upper. We may add a can later, and we may have some gas issues that we have to mitigate. Speaking of the can, we then move down our upper and see our muzzle device. This one is easier to figure out as it's obviously Forward Control's designs and Expo Arms collaboration into a chemo system. And I'm looking forward to this because I actually have a few dead air cans that are sitting in jail, and I like the idea of being able to attach that silencer, or if I then remove it, I still have a pretty legit muzzle device underneath. It's pretty cool. So, did you catch all the brands that are hidden under the hood of this thing so far? That ZEV receiver, CMT handguard, Forward Control design chemo brake, and yes, you may have noticed the upper is missing a few bits, and I did add some more Expo Arms pieces in order to finish out the build. The first one I added being the Expo Arms BCG, and this one is actually a powerhouse in disguise also. If you look closely, you can see the bolt carrier is also chrome lined. And that lining and design is the dead giveaway that this BCG is designed by Microbest. And that's the same OEM BCG that is used by Daniel Defense. Okay, seriously, do we get to keep this thing? We also added a small upgrade with the Forward Control design cam pin. The dimpled indentation can be used to always orient the cam pin in the same direction. And yeah, I don't think that does anything at all, but it's there as an option if you're particular about those kind of things. And finally, we added in the Expo Arms charging handle to finish out the upper. Now, everything is so flashy, and then here I am, as a lefty, with this single side, non-ambi charging handle. And I already know I'm gonna complain about that to no end, but what do you say we go out to the range and actually test this? But I will say, Joe is probably a better avenue to test out this upper and run it through its paces, so I'm gonna box this thing up and send it over to him.
One day, you will be mine. Who's at my door? Wait. To Joe, love Walsh. Oh, gun goodies. Let's see what Walsh sent this time. What is this? Ooh, a new upper. Just like Walsh, to only send me half a gun. All right, here. Yes. Going to the range day. Hey, I'm going to the range. No, I don't care that it snowed a foot last night. I'm going. What else do we need? Range day. Range day. Let's go to the range. Yeah. No, I got it. I just got it. It just got delivered. Yeah. Thanks, buddy. Wait, what? What? How are keyboard warriors already talking trash? We haven't even done a video yet. All right, let's hear it. What's wrong with the upper this time?
Oh, I better comment here. That 11.5-inch barrel doesn't have the proper muzzle velocity to avoid transonic accuracy issues outside of 50 yards.
The what? The velocity? I don't know, fast. It shoots lead really fast to make holes in things. That's what it does. It's all right, let me get the chrono. All right, as you can see, beautiful condition out here, but we're going to do the test anyway for all you keyboard warriors out there. So let's start with velocity testing. So it looks like we have a max of 2652, minimum of 2622, with an average of 2637. There. Oh, glad I proved that. What? Now what?
My mommy told me about how that 11.5-inch barrel isn't accurate at all compared to a 20-inch barrel. 20 inch is all we have in this house.
The what? The accurate... This wasn't built for accuracy. What do you want me to do? Shoot 1,000 yards? Let me find a scope, I guess. All right, so we're gonna shoot at this head. I don't know, we'll call that 4 inches. We're going to shoot at this head from 50 yards and see what happens. All right, so there are the shots. I mean, they were fast. Glass I'm fogging up, and I did throw one over the target into the dirt right there. But go ahead, keyboard warrior. That's a pass on my end. Okay, now that we're done answering all those silly questions that nobody cares about, let me put a real red dot on this and get to work.
Well, that isn't even an overpriced Gucci brand. You know it's not reliable unless Triarch waits 15 months and then gives you the middle finger. That's how you know it's quality. Send.
The reliability? How am I going to test reliability? All right, here we go. Seemed pretty reliable to me. Did you see how stable that shot? I'm impressed. Let's do this again.
Well, let's do pros and cons then. All right, so the first one's gonna be that these are some really high-end parts at like normal human being prices. Once you strip down and research what all is going on under the hood of this Expo Arms upper, you really find some high-tier manufacturers that just make this whole system run like a top. And being able to save a significant amount of money and then have these super high-tier parts is, well, that's pretty nuts. All right, I'll say the next pro, and this one comes straight from Joe. That thing shoots flat as hell. Joe was unsure on which parts of a unicorn that they stuffed into this upper, but he kept commenting on how both he and Sean from We Like Shooting had never shot a flatter AR system. We couldn't determine if it was the gas system, the muzzle device, or what exactly it was causing this, but the entire system just became like this super flat laser. All right, then the next pro for me are all those M-lock slots on the Handguard. Doing more and more with NV, I see how important this is for a short 11.5 setup like this. You could easily turn this into a night vision setup, as the M-lock slots give you an easy way to tie in lights and illuminators to tuck in close to one another. And having that silencer attachment already, this whole setup just comes out of the box, just dying to be turned into a badass night vision setup. And I'll be honest, without all those M-lock slots, you can sometimes find yourself having to search for just the right kind of mount or trying to find just the right thing to fix whatever disaster you got going on. All right, then let's look at the cons, and the first one's gonna be that 1992 charging handle. Now, Joe didn't care at all about this when he was shooting, but as a lefty, this older style charging handle just seems out of place. With so many higher tier pieces, the charging handle just stands out. Being a lefty, this makes using the charging handle particularly annoying. And I'd certainly change that out, and I'd offer Expo Arms a suggestion of some of those ambi charging handles like you see on the Radian Raptor or the Aero Breach. No Break Arms, not you. All right, so I really only have one more con, and it's that I wish there was a 14.5-inch barrel option. I'd love to see Expo Arms work the same magic on a 14.5 length system that would allow for a pin and weld muzzle device. This would give the user the ability to use all rifle accessories and then add on a dead air silencer to bump the velocity back up to around a 16-inch barrel. Overall though, I think Expo Arms hit it out of the park with this upper, and the things I'm nitpicking on would really just take it from like a 9.5 to a 10, to be honest. If you're looking to buy a premium upper with a focus on those higher tier parts for reliability and accuracy, you can't go wrong with the 11.5 Patrol series with the forward control design Chemo muzzle device. And this upper really was a surprise, and I'll be honest with you, I think Joe is still sending me messages telling me about how flat this thing shoots. Well, I hope this video on the Expo Arms parts and the 11.5 Patrol Series upper was useful in your purchasing decisions. I want to say thanks to all of our Patreon supporters and our YouTube Live members. You're the ones that make all this possible, do all this cool stuff. And I want to say thanks to everyone that likes, comments, and subscribes. Comment down below what you thought about that Expo Arms upper. All right, everyone, Walsh out. That 11.5-inch barrel doesn't have the proper muzzle velocity to reach non-transonic issues. No, wait, hold on, I gotta do it again. Hold on, Joe's sending me a message. What do you mean you're not sending back the upper?